Guys, it's game time, and I'm gonna need 4 volunteers. Okay, y'all are gonna go with Adam out the door right over there. Go real quick, go with Adam. Here's what's gonna happen. Adam's gonna give them something to act out, and they're gonna sit in this chair, and they're gonna act out whatever he told them to do, and you guys are supposed to guess what they're acting out. But here's the deal, here's what you're really doing. The whole time they're up here doing this, you're gonna picture them on the toilet pooping. Okay? That's what's really going on here. That's what's really happening. Our first contestant. Come on up here, Shelby. Have a seat. All right, you know what you're doing, right? Adam told you what you're doing. You can't tell us, but you're going to act it out. I'm going to say on your mark, set, go, and then a 15-second countdown is going to happen on the screen. And you got 15 seconds, and they're going to try to figure out what it is that you are displaying for us. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. Okay, Shelby, I'm going to back away, okay? Okay. On your mark. Get set, go. Give it to him, Shelby. Let him know what you're doing. Oh man, Shelby, that was awesome. You did so good. Give her a, yeah, bring the next one. Stand over here for me, Shelby. Just stand over there for me and wait till you almost gave it away. All right, cool. Number 2. All right, come on up here, bro. Number 2. All right, what's your name? Where do you go to school and stuff?
Carson and Berwyn High School.
Berwyn High School, sweet. All right, you know what you're doing, right? You go hardcore here, bro, all right? All right, here we go. I'm going to step back and let you do your thing. All right, Carson? All right, here we go. I'm going to send you mark, set, go, and then you got a 15-second timer. All right, you ready? On your mark, get set, go. You got 4 seconds, man. Oh, time's up. I think that was a good job, man. You really let it out, if you know what I mean. There you go. All right, why don't you stand over here next to Shelby? You let it all hang out. That was awesome. What's your name? Where do you go to school and stuff?
My name's Hannah, and I go to Brentwood.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite thing to do?
Eat.
It looks like it. All right. Well, okay. We're going to see how that works out for you. Okay, Hannah, there's a 15-second timer going to come on. I'm going to say on your mark, get set, go, and then you're going to do the thing that you do. And you're going to show us how you do it, okay? You ready?
Yes.
On your mark, get set, go. You're very well organized while this. Yes, time's up. High five. You are the most organized person that you just get ready for it and then you just go. All right, why don't you stand over here for us? What's your name? Where do you go to school?
I'm Benjamin Blavitz. I go to FRA.
FRA, cool, man. Cool. You know what you're doing? Don't tell us. But do you know?
I think so. I think so.
All right, cool. I think you so too. Okay, I'm going to say on your mark, get set, go. You're going to have 15. Get set, go. Oh. You got to hold on, yeah. 3 seconds left. Oh, time. Good job. Give me a high five right there. All right, hop up. Oh, I think I see some skid marks. Okay. Oh, man, that's messed up. All right, guys, come on over here for us.
You're asking me questions, rude.
Well, what's your name? Where do you go to school?
Shelby, and I go to Woodland.
Hey, there you go. You guys just displayed some awesome stuff for you. And were people supposed to be guessing while you were doing this? Did you notice anybody guessing? No, because they already knew what you were doing because they were all picturing you on the toilet the whole time. You were really displaying for them how you poop. Benjamin is really confused right now. All right, everybody, give him a round of applause. Thanks so much for playing. You guys were great sports. Great sports, Hannah. You were great. Thanks, Benjamin. You were the bomb.
Hi. My name is Lindsay Brooks. I'm the director of the student ministry, and I'm not a good dancer. Like, I don't know about you, but I can't dance. However, in the 4th grade, I did jazz. Did anybody do anything for like 1 year of your life and then you're like, not for me, not doing it again? Yeah. So I did it for a year. I did jazz in the 4th grade. But I didn't continue that embarrassment after that because we moved from Ohio to Tennessee, so it was just a 1-year thing. But if you know anything about dance, at the culmination of that year, we had a recital at the very end. And at the very end of our dance, we did Aladdin. Okay, it's about to come up. So Aladdin was our performance for our little 4th graders. It was so sweet.
This is awkward.
This is all intentional to be awkward. I really can't continue until I have my pictures. Sad day. Aladdin. Who's seen Aladdin? Yeah, a lot of people. Well, my 4th grade class was in Aladdin, and we were the magic carpets. So just picture. There we go. The magic carpets. And lo and behold, I still have it. So magic carpets, and I haven't put this on since 4th grade. This is what we wore. This little get up. Now, no human, this is gonna take off my headpiece, no human being should ever wear full body spandex, ever. Unless they're doing a dance routine, would be like the only time that's possibly acceptable. But this in and of itself is not like awkward. Like I was in the 4th grade. This is like 1991 or 92. So fashion's a little different. You can wear a costume for a jazz performance. Like that's okay. Not that awkward. Just kind of funny to look at now. But here's the catch. I had white jazz shoes, but we were supposed to wear black jazz shoes for the performance. And everyone else in my class had white as well. My mom didn't want to go out and buy new jazz shoes because it was the very end of the year. It makes sense, you don't want to buy and spend the money for one performance. So my mom's idea was to take shoe polish to rub on the jazz shoes and try and make them black. Well, that doesn't turn black. That's just as messy and dirty looking, like smudged, like looked like you took it and like rubbed it on a chalkboard or something or rubbed it in the dirt. Like that's how it turned out. This is what it looked like. So I have, not only, everyone else has black dance shoes, mind you, with spray paint, but mine are like gray. Look at those awesome socks, purple socks. Here's a little close-up. These are my messy, non-black jazz shoes, just like gray, smudge, purple socks, and black shoe ties. So this is all a little awkward, and you really stand out in the performance when it's so different and everyone else is matching. A little embarrassing. Who's had just like within the past 24 hours an awkward moment that you've experienced? What about the last week? An awkward, something you'd be like, oh, it's a little awkward. Okay, maybe not as extreme as the video, like Andrew Byers had to succumb to. But yeah, we've all had them. We've all had awkward moments. We've had embarrassing moments. We've had moments where we just felt like a little out of place, like we just didn't quite belong. But 22 years later, you can laugh about it, and it's okay at that point in time. But even we look at the Bible, and sometimes we see awkward stories and awkward situations and awkward encounters in Scripture. And we've got this verse that's like, for our theme verse for tonight, that you may or may not get to talk about in small groups because we're running over quite a bit. But it says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Who thinks that's confusing? Like, this is like a really tricky passage because you're like, didn't Jesus come to love people? Like, why is he talking about hate? Why did they hate him? Was he a nice guy? This is kind of hard to kind of chew on. Finish this verse for me in John 3:16. For God so loved the world, right? God loved the world. Then why is it here saying the world's going to hate you and the world hated me? Well, in John 3:16, God is talking about all of creation, that God said, what I have created is good. It is all good. But then we get here in John 15, and what Jesus is talking about here is all those people who opposed Jesus. All the people who didn't understand, what is this guy doing here? I don't understand his mission. I thought it was going to be a king, and he came in on a donkey. Like, what's up with this? All these people who didn't understand Jesus opposed him. Who's heard the word persecution before? They persecuted him. Those are different things that happened to Jesus who came and the people didn't get it. So Jesus talks about the world hated me first, and if you follow me, the world at sometimes might hate you. It's like Jesus is saying, if you've ever felt like you don't belong, take heart, because I often didn't belong. People often misunderstood me. It's like Jesus is saying, if you've ever felt left out, if you've ever felt left alone, take heart, because often I was alone, because people secluded me because of things I did. I tried to comfort the outcasts, the sick, the lame. It's as if Jesus is saying, if you've ever been awkward for my sake, like you had to do something awkward for me, for Jesus, take heart, because I did all kinds of awkward stuff to advance the gospel. I did all kinds of things that caused the world to hate me and to persecute me first. So sometimes we're thrown into awkward situations too that really can be an awkward or an opportunity. We think it's awkward, but really there's an opportunity at hand. And I shared a little bit about this in middle school, Sunday school this morning, but I can remember when I was a youth here at BUMC. I can remember as I got a little bit older in sunshine days and showing up at choir and always kind of wanting to sit with my friends. I went to Broughton High School, so there were a lot of people here who I knew and were kind of easy connections. It was safe, right, to sit with people I knew. But as I got a little older, I wanted to really kind of branch out and meet new people. And I can totally remember showing up, and two people that stand out in particular for me that were in my grade was Brett, who went to BGA, and Katie, who I'm pretty sure it was Franklin that she went to. Some other schools that exist now just weren't even around back then. But some of you might be able to relate to this. You might feel sometimes awkward because you don't know other people, because maybe you go to a school that not many other people go to that come here. Or for all you ninth graders that just started at a new school, have you had any awkward experiences going to school, a brand new school now? Yeah, and for some of you might be at a new school where your friends aren't even at, and you've made that change, and that can be awkward, and you have to navigate what to do. Well, these two youth in particular were kind of shy, kind of quiet, but they were always here. They were always here, and I didn't want them to sit alone. So for me, I wanted to make this effort to embrace the awkward situation of reaching out to them. I didn't want them to feel awkward sitting alone, so I embraced the awkward opportunity and sat with them. And really what it was not awkward, but it was really just an opportunity to meet new people and make new friendships. So sometimes in life we have awkward moments like my dirty, messy Josh shoes that stood out and made it clear that we had no clue what we were doing. We didn't buy new ones and we didn't get the memo they were supposed to spray paint. You might have something like that, but then sometimes there's awkward things that happen that really aren't that awkward, but could be something we could take advantage, something that we can turn positive, something we can turn into an opportunity. Because the gospel sometimes calls us to awkward things. And the gospel that we're referring to here isn't just one book. The gospel is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But the gospel is also the whole story of God restoring what God has created, when God is trying to make what's right in the world, and we get to participate in that, and that's awesome. But sometimes it turns the norm upside down. So we'll explore that through this series. We'll see some funny videos, we'll share some really funny stories, see some awesome, awkward photos in the hallway if you haven't seen those yet. There's a really awkward one of me. Of the staff and small group leaders. But we'll also talk about how the gospel sometimes calls us to sacrifice to help other people. How the gospel calls us to awkward things like standing up for people who society shuns. And sometimes the gospel calls us to awkward situations to put other people's needs before our own. Because that's just bizarre, but that's what the gospel asks us to do. So I'm going to close this in prayer.
All right, so I want to do something awkward with you guys. If any of you were on Sunshine Tour this past year, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. But I want to do something awkward. Everyone, I want you to stand up and do something really awkward and simple for me that could change somebody's life. I promise you that. I want you to go and find 3 people, hug them, tell them you love them, and that you are glad that they are here. I know that's a little weird, but as we do it every week, it'll get more normal. I promise. Some of you are already excited about this continuing to happen. So we're going to dive into this series called Awkward. And really our idea for this awkward thing was that we heard you guys all the time saying the word awkward. I can't tell you how many people sit in my office and like something happens, they're like, ooh, Adam, why do you have this awkward photo? I'm like, what's awkward about the photo? It's just me and another human. Why is this awkward? Like, yeah, it's awkward. And I really don't get it. But you guys have started to describe everything as awkward. There are all sorts of awkward situations that you guys get yourselves into, or maybe that you just define as awkward, whether we really think that whether it really is genuinely awkward or not. And what we want to do is we want to kind of reclaim this word awkward for the sake of the gospel. Y'all okay with that? Yeah. We have one yes. All right, good. Good, thank you. Great crowd participation this year is going to be great. I'm so excited. I know your laugh. I know who you are. That was awkward. So awkward is causing embarrassment or inconvenience. And let's be honest that we all get ourselves into a few awkward situations from time to time. It was awesome earlier hearing Lindsay taught in the first session, and so she got to share some of her awkward stories. And so I have two really great awkward stories that I'm going to fly through because I only have 5 minutes left. First, I was in the 7th grade. That is awkward enough to be in 7th grade. Is awkward enough. And maybe I might have shared this story because it's also my most embarrassing story. But this was the most awkward I've ever felt in my entire life. I go to the bathroom, all right? 7th grade. Whatever. It's already there, right? All right, so 7th grade, I'm about to go to social studies class. There's a bathroom right across There's a bathroom right across the hall from my social studies class. Very convenient for me, so I say, I shall go use it. And I go and use said facilities. I am standing there using said facilities, and I think that I hear the bathroom door crack open, okay? And I just make a slight turn with my body to look who is coming in. When I make a slight turn, I make errant maneuver and judgment, and I pee all down the front of my pants. I always have to specify this. I did not pee in my pants, I peed on my pants, okay? 7th grade, people. I am standing in the bathroom with urinated shorts. Shorts, pants, whatever. What do you do? So I awkwardly tried to walk into the classroom, and they're like, Adam, what's going on with your pants? You think, maybe no one will notice. Immediately someone notices, right? So I walk in, immediately someone, what's going on with your pants? I splashed some water, washing my hands. No one bought it. I had to call my mom. Everybody knew about it. It was the most awkward thing that's ever happened in my life. Second awkward story.
You didn't try to wash it off at all?
What was I going to do? Later, if you had a great plan for this, let me know later. We'll go through it. I'll keep. More water on you. Yeah, more. All right. Second awkward story I have. So I'm in college. Shh, follow me, because eventually I want to get to the Bible. I know. Second awkward story. I'm in college now, and I get asked to go to this formal with this girl. And so I was like, yeah, all right, I'll go to the formal with the girl. It'll be fun, you know? And so I show up to go. I didn't know this girl very well. She was in a sorority that I didn't know all the girls very well, but I had 2 or 3 friends there, and I had another fraternity brother that was going to this. So we show up at this house, we're going to eat dinner. That's how I walk. We're going to eat dinner before at this house, then we're going to the formal. And I walk in, and I see my date, and she is already standing with another guy. Oh, yeah. I didn't like the girl, so it didn't bother me then. But she was all of a sudden, she got that oh, crap look on her face. No one had told me she had, the first date that she had that backed out on backing out. And so now she had 2 dates. And so we had this awkward conversation of, oh, no, it'll be fine. It'll be really fun. I really wanted to take 2 dates. So I was the second date to a formal. So that is my second really awkward story. Ended up being fine because whatever. So, there was 3 of us. We looked like a happy little family. I don't know. We all have these awkward moments. We all have these awkward moments that we get into in our lives. And I think really what you have to do is embrace that and live into it. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm in John 17. And this is, John 17 is a whole chapter. It is right before Jesus is arrested. Nearly the entire chapter is Jesus praying to God the night before he knows he's going to be arrested, crucified, all of those things happening. So Jesus eventually gets, in this long prayer, gets to this point that is confusing as all get out. I gave your word to them, and the world hated them because they didn't belong to this world, just as I don't belong to this world. I'm not asking that you take them out of this world, but that you keep them safe from the evil one. They don't belong to this world, just as I didn't belong to this world. Jesus is praying for us, the people that he's going to leave behind here. And what he's praying to God is saying, God, just like I didn't belong in this world, these people don't belong as well. All right. Have you ever shown up somewhere and felt like you just absolutely did not belong, like you were the second date? Thank you, Chandler, for being bold enough to raise your hand. That happens a whole lot in our lives. And what we want to dive into in the next few weeks is really looking at the fact that when you follow the gospel, all the time you're going to find yourselves in these awkward situations where it's like, man, what I'm doing just really doesn't belong with the world right now. Like, man, it feels really contrary to what everyone else is doing, but Jesus told me to do it. It's proof right here in John 17 that Jesus comes and says, you don't belong here. You don't fit in this world, and things are going to be awkward for you. And in the next few weeks, as we look at friendships and your faith and grace and all sorts of other things, you're going to realize that all of those things have an awkward environment to them that we have to embrace so that we can live here and live out the ways that Jesus taught us to live so that we can bring the kingdom on earth. So that's what we're going to be looking at in the next few weeks. So I want you to think this week, you might have some awkward situations that happen this very week as you go out to school, the third week of school. Embrace those awkward moments. Know that Jesus came and said, you don't belong here. You're going to feel out of place. You're going to walk in the door sometimes, and because of the things that I'm going to lead you to do, you're going to feel like that third date. But in the end, it's all going to be all right. Let's pray real quick, and then y'all can get out of here and go to small groups.